Well, hello my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And of course, you know I've been busy. You know I couldn't wait to get back. Thank you so much for enjoying Jay's Glad Bag, my new segment. And of course, I'm using it to try to encourage myself to just, to let go. To let some things go so that I can enjoy and not worry about, what am I going to do with this? Or, it's just becoming overwhelming. So, I just, stepped right in. I just went for it. And I just put it out there. And I can't tell you how excited I am to see so many people. Says, Jay, I was thinking the same thing. I'm telling you. It's just overwhelming. But look, we're under no pressure. We're going to take our time. And I thought, well, if I can just make some little short videos and just kind of share with you. And yes, some of you have caught the fever already. Some of you are already excited about it. Just remember, get yourself a Glad Bag. And see, it makes it special. And it's not so hard to let it go when you put it in a pretty bag. If you just put it in a trash bag, it's like, oh man, I don't know. Oh, I put things in a trash bag and put them in the back of my car and rode around with them for a month, trying to decide whether to take it to the thrift store or not. Sometimes I go back through the bag. But the Glad Bag, when I'm actually going to take it to a group or people or someone, it's more exciting. And, after that, you have to let go. You can't say, well, I hope they enjoy it and I hope they like it as much. No, you just have to let it go. I don't know what they'll do with it. Hopefully they'll do something good and bless other people. And it will just keep going. But this brings us now to this next project I have. The two I've just finished. Did you like the pictures? I was so excited. I just wanted to get this project in because, as you know, it's going to be Mother's Day. So I had been over to, of course, I just buy my cards, wherever. Sometimes I buy them at Walmart. Sometimes I'll go to, to one of the Hallmark or something. But, most of the time I just go to the Dollar Tree first. And I found a couple of cards, as you saw in the pictures. And I'll be sending them out to friends, that are mothers, and of course my sister or something like that. So I just pick up quite a few just to have them in case and this was one that I found at the Dollar Tree. And it's very pretty. I won't read it all, but it just says, Happy Mother's Day to someone I'm so happy to know. If there's someone you can talk to, someone no one can replace, if there's someone you can laugh with till the tears run down your face. Oh my gosh. If there's someone you can turn to when you need a helping hand. If there's someone you can count on to advise and understand. Oh, look, isn't it pretty? If there's someone you think more of as the years all come and go, then you've found someone so special. It's a joy to tell her so. How can I thank you? You're the best. So I will be sending this to my sister. So I thought I'd share it with you. Isn't that pretty? She loves it. And she loves pretty cards. And she's always sending me pretty cards. We do, that's one thing we do is send pretty cards. Okay, so I'm going to lay her card up there. And then I'll show you the last one later. But as I, got ready to come up with something for this project, I wanted to, we're doing this, we're still in simple summer shell tops. And I said, well, let me look around since it's going to hit around Mother's Day. And of course, these are things that normally your kids would buy you, probably. And I found these beautiful, look, these pretty bangles, these pretty necklace, and they're just really pretty. inexpensive. I think I got them at Walmart. I had them a good while, but I had never used them. And they were so pretty. And, of course, I was looking for something to match my yarn that I was working with. And as you can see, they are quite a treat. Just to have, just that little extra pretty. Now I'll have to find somewhere to go on it. So, also while I was looking, because you know I always try to find something to match whatever I'm working on, I found these beautiful beads at Joann's, and they matched, as I'm going to get ready to show you the yarns, how they inspired me to make the two crocheted vests that I'm going to share with you as part of, like I said, Jay's Simple Summer Shell tops, sweaters, vests, maybe even a shawl by the time we end, by the time we make it through the summer. So, alright, so I just wanted you to see this first and see how you can just take a little inspiration. Now, I could have picked any of these colors. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. So I'm going to lay these to the side, and then I'm going to pull out some of the yarn so that I can tell you what I use. First of all, I'm going down small to a size G or an H hook, whichever you like or whatever you can find in your stash. This is another stash buster project, and but I like, you know, crocheting. You know, it's not. I'm not as versatile in crochet as I am in knitting, so I haven't. You know, I've not used a lot of small needles that much. Excuse me, hooks. So, but I like the feel of a G or an H in the crochet. You know, normally I use a J for large things, but these are simple summer shells, and you really want them to be very, to just fit real well on your body and to be lightweight, of course, for the summer. Well, when I was at Joann's trying to decide what yarns to use, and I looked at all my favorites and everything, of course, Karen Simply Soft, I bought some of, you know, I have all that in every color. And I started to work on it. It felt too heavy. All right, so I tossed that aside. Went back and picked up something else. I can't even remember now because I picked up several trying to find the right yarn after I looked through my stash. And it felt too hard. I kind of feel like Goldilocks. One was too this and one was too that. Until I got to this one. Remember I said that we haven't used a lot of Deborah Norville's yarn? Well, this one seems to be the one that was just right. It is Premier Deborah Norville's Everyday, but it is baby. Everyday baby yarn. And it calls for a G hook. But I'm going to be using an H. But it is a light, it's a DK light, a number 3. So you can look in your stash and see if you have anything, a number 3, or, you know, like say DK, but light, that you probably could use either a G or an H hook. So let me show you just tell you what I have here. So now here is, let me get my glasses on. I just picked up 4 of each color. And that's just because if I got home, I didn't want to have to keep running back. And I've been running back trying to find the right yarn. There's 308 yards in this yarn because I don't know anything about grams and all of that. I go by the yards. So 308 is quite a bit, but I went ahead and got 4. Because this stitch will eat up a lot of the yarn, the stitch I'm going to share with you. Like I said, they used a G. And the name of this color, I don't know if they have a name in their yarns. They have like a number. Oh, yes, they do, just yellow. Oh, I could have told you that, couldn't I? But it is Everyday Baby Yellow by Deborah Norville. And then here's a beautiful color. And this is like a teal or something. It's very pretty. But the color that I settle on for my the vest you see in the pictures is this beautiful color here, and they just call it coral. So, and while I'm in Joann's, I've just started automatically going over to this one set of beads by Darcy, and they just always, these are the ones that are kind of like the Pandora beads with the large holes, because you know I do eye cords. You know, I like to hang mine on eye cords. So they have the big holes like the Pandora beads. Can you see that? So I just normally, as soon as I pick out some yarn, I have just made myself just do it automatically. I go over to the Darcy rack and I pick Mix and Mingle metal lined beads. And I found this beautiful color combination I thought would really be pretty. And I also use in the pictures after Karen Simply Soft didn't work for me, I tried Yarn Bee Soft Secret, and it's kind of in a kind of a cream color. So these beads really go with it, but I found some beads to match. I'm just showing this because I ran out of the color. Let's see. Oh, maybe I have a little bit left. I had a little bit. I didn't have much left. Let's see, can I find it? Yeah, I did. Here's a little bit. This is the actual color that I use in Yarn Bee Soft Secret. Oh, it's called Biscuit. And as you can see, so I just went right over there and found some beads. So on down the road, I didn't have to run back, and they were 40% off. So it wasn't very much, but this is Biscuit in Yarn Bee Soft Secret, and it took 3 skeins of this, and they have 300 yards in each skein. So this is my yarn selection and suggestion to you, but you go, of course, look in your stash and see. Like I say, for these soft simple summer shells, I really like the idea of going down to a G or an H. I will be using Clover H hook because it just felt right, and when I was done with the project, it is absolutely beautiful. It hangs beautiful, it feels good on my body, and you saw the pictures how pretty it looks. So alright, so let me clear this up and then I'm going to show you something else. Okay, so now this is the color that I use from Soft Secret. Yarn Bee Soft Secret. It's called Biscuit. And it wasn't so much that I wanted to use this yarn, it was just because I kept looking for this certain color because of a piece of fabric I found at Joann's. So before I show you that, let me just tell you, it has a nice sheen to it. It drapes beautiful, but it is a little heavier than the baby yarns. Right off the bat, once I finished it, it draped, I put it on, it feels beautiful. I look after it was steamed. After I steamed it, then, it draped and fit really nice. But it is still just a hint heavier than baby yarn. Okay, I don't even know if they give you this one is a number 4, so that's why it's a little heavier than the DK Light that the baby yarn is. But it did work. Karen Simply Soft to me was even heavier. Now that doesn't mean I couldn't use it on down the road, but since we're trying to think summer and light, but yes, you could use Karen Simply Soft if you're in weather where it's cooler and you think, well, Jay, I could use one, a little heavier, but not winter. So, but anyway, this is the yarn I used. As you can see, it has a beautiful, the new stitch I'm calling it, the Feather and Fan. Because I just love the fan in knitting, so I just wanted something like it in crochet. So, and then this is where I was going to share with you how I added, let's see now if this is showing up on camera. Yes, it is. How I decided to add right up under the underarm, I decided to put in a kind of a panel, a gusset that will give you more room as you work down towards your hip. Here's the underarm, here's the arm space right there. And then I increased a few stitches on each side. And then it also made it very nice to sew because I can match up, you know, the rows going across. But yet when I put it on, I had a little more ease. That's what I want to say. I put in a side ease, a panel to ease the side. So when you put it on, and if you have hips like me and you need a little more, then this is it. I didn't have to go a bigger size. I just simply put in this little nice ease to help as I got towards my hips. And of course the rest of it just falls in line, and here it is. And it's a pretty front, and I did the extended single crochet, a couple of rows to just finish it off, and it's just real pretty. And of course it has a really pretty edge to it, because when I crochet, remember, I work up and then I turn it upside down, so whatever your pretty scalloped edge, it always winds up at the bottom of my sweaters. Isn't that pretty? Now, okay, so there's no mystery to the book we're using, and this time I'm going to get the name right. I looked at the videos and I think I got the name wrong every time. Well, tonight I have the glasses on my eyes and not on the top of my head. But it is The Complete Book. Make sure I'm on camera now. Good. In fact, I hold it up without the glare maybe. Let's see if I can keep a glare. Okay. The Complete Book of Crochet Stitch Designs. 500 Classic and Original Patterns by Linda P. Scaper. And as you know, that I just decided, instead of getting several books, we'll get some other books later, but this book is so large and there's so much in it, and I thought, I'm going to make it a challenge to see if I can come up with designs all summer long out of this one book. And so many of you have bought this book. So, I'm sure Linda Scaper, I'm sure she thanks you too. So, let's go. Now, the stitch I'm going to use, the tutorial, my last knit tutorial, I made a sweater, and it was a feather and fan stitch. Well, it's just a pretty stitch, and like I said, her patterns, their stitches in here, do not have names. They all have numbers. So I thought, man, I'd like to have something like that, a feather and fan like a crochet. Well, I couldn't find nothing, that said feather and fan But I did find this stitch on page 342, and the number, if you have this book, is stitch 484. 484. And just looking at the swatch, maybe it doesn't really look like feather and fans. But when I looked at the schematic or the chart, the chart here, because when I'm crocheting, especially in a book like this, I usually go by the chart. I can crochet much faster by looking at the chart. And remember, I get my trusty magnifying glass if I have a problem seeing. I just get my magnifying glass and I can count the stitches, and man, I'm off to the races. But this is a multiple of 12 stitches plus 4 for those that feel they, are going to try to work it that way. I, don't worry so much about how many chains, but how many repeats will fit your body. And it's simply row 1. We set it up with row 1, and then row 2 is the row you just do over and over and over and over and over. That's it. So, with the piece being worked in one piece, this beautiful vest worked in one piece, you eventually have a large piece of fabric you're dealing with. And I didn't want to have to deal with 5 or 6 rows. I started out working one with 5 rows, and even that just wore me down. And then the thought of having to work the whole vest in those 5 rows and try to share it and keep it straight and help people to understand how I was doing it. Nope. I went back to this book, and this is when I found this stitch. Simple, easy, 1 row of pattern, and because what I'm trying to convey is how to, use the repeats to get something to fit, and then how to work the project as much as possible in one piece. How to figure out, You know, and once you start getting the steps and how to figure out how things flows, you'll be able to do it yourself anytime you want to. So, all right, so this is our book. This is the stitch. And there's nothing else to do now but get some practice yarn and let's get started. And I believe this is going to be a go-to. This is, I mean, it really is fun to do. It's just, well, a lot of crocheting. All right, let me get everything cleared up and I will be back with some practice yarn. Okay, so now I have a long chain, you know, for this sample. This is row 1 and it's the right side. And here we go. Now I did have to change the pattern just a little bit, just a stitch here and there, but you'll be able to, it won't, you'll see what I'm doing just by, just follow me. All right, in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the 4th chain. All right, I'm going to do a double crochet. Now chain 2, 1, 2. Then I skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, and in the next chain I'm going to put 6 double crochets. So in the next chain I'm going to, there's 1, 2. That's 4. Here's 5 and number 6. So I have 6 double crochets. As soon as I finish 6 double crochets, I chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now on the bottom, I skip 3, 1, 2, 3. That's one of the changes I made. I skip 1, 2, 3. Now I single crochet in the next chain. Just do a single crochet. Now chain 2, 1, 2. Skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2. Now I will do a double crochet. Go to the next chain and do a double crochet. And that's what you should have on row 1. All right, now to continue, on each side of these double crochets I chain 2. So here I will chain 2, skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, and then I start the repeat. 6 double crochets. One, 2, 3, 4. I need 5, and then number 6. Okay, I need a little more yarn. There are my 6 double crochets. Oops, got tangled up. Now, immediately, make sure I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Then I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. I single crochet in the next chain. Chain 2. 1, 2. Skip 2. 1, 2. Now I will repeat the 2 double crochets, 1 there, and go to the next chain and a double crochet. And guess what? We are on our way with this repeat. Can you see it? Okay, so I will chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 on the bottom, and now I'm repeating the 6 double crochets in the next chain. This is a very dense stitch and it eats up a lot of yarn. So like I said, you're going to need at least probably 4. I would make sure I had 4. Since, you know, it will eat up a lot of yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, let me do 5 and 6. Okay, there's my 6 double crochets. Then I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3, and then do a single crochet in the next chain. Chain 2, 1, 2. Now, I'm going to get ready to stop this little sample And the way I will stop it at the end, after I chain 2, I will skip 2, 1, 2. Now do a double crochet in the next chain, and then a double crochet. You end with 2 double crochets, just like that. Now, of course, you know, you're going to have a long row. Here's just 3 little repeats. See them? Now, the next row will be the wrong side, and that's row 2. So, row 2, I'm going to, and this is for every row, I chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3. Now I'm on row 2, and this is the row, this is what you'll just continue to do. Okay, the first thing I want to do is double crochet into this double crochet right there, into the second one. So I double crochet, now chain 2. 1, 2. Now look for this single crochet. In the single crochet right there, this is where you will put your 6 double crochets to stay in pattern. So let's go. That's 1, 2, 3, and 6. Alright, a little more yarn. Now things are going to stack on top of each other. Chain 2, 1, 2, okay, 3, I'm sorry, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. After the 6 double crochets, chain 3. Now, to stack it on top of the previous row right here, count over, there should be, count over to the 5th double crochet. Not the 6th, but the 5th double crochet right there. So I will chain 3, count over, and put my hook into the 5th double crochet right there. Then single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're back in pattern. Double crochet above that one, double crochet into the next one. Now chain 2, 1, 2. Hold your work out so that you can see. The hardest stitch to find will be this little single crochet, but this is where you want to put your 6. See, right there's the shell, but right here, can you see it? Right there in that single crochet, you're going to put the 6 double crochets. So let's go. 1, 2, 3. There's 4. Here's 5, and there's 6. And then as soon as you're done with 6, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Find the 5th double crochet in this shell right here. And you can always know that this is number 6, so this will be number 5 right here. Right there, see it? So you put your hook in there, pull a loop up, and do a single crochet there. Now chain 2, 1, 2, to get to these 2 double crochets. There's always a chain 2 before it and after the double crochet. So there's 1, then another double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, find the single crochet right there. Need a little more yarn. 1, 2, 3. There's 4. Here's 5, and the last one is 6. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. Now I want to go all the way to the 5th double crochet right there. I will put my hook in the 5th double crochet, pull a loop through and do a single, chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm at the end of row 2, double crochet here, and double crochet into the post. 1, 2. Chain 3 to turn. 1, 1, 2, 3. Turn the work. And now we simply repeat row 2 again. I start out just the same. I go into that second double crochet that makes the edge, chain 2, find the single crochet. It's right there. Can you see it? Right there. That's where you're going to stack your shells. And they're offset shells. They're like this. So let's go. We're going to put 6 into that single crochet. And that's it. 2, 3, 4. Oops. 4. Let's go 5. And 6. Oh, I need some yarn here. Okay, and of course, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you find the 5th, go into the 5th double crochet, do a single crochet, chain 2, and you continue. So now this is our simple little repeat of this pattern. And when I lay it out, you see things start to stack on top of each other, but the shells will be a little on the offset. You'll have one over here, and then one here, one here, one here, and that's the way it will go up. So this is why it eats up a lot of yarn, and it will need, some good steaming to relax the fabric once we are completely done. But that's it. Now I will bring out one that I have worked a little farther to tell you the next step. You are simply repeating row 2 over and over. So the next thing I want to do is to set in or know how many of these repeats that I'm going to use for an arm space. So let me get the next sample. Okay, all right, this is what I really, the next step. And it's not so much the arm space, because the arm space in this particular vest is automatic, because we simply, come up the back and then come down each front. All right, so now you're crocheting along on row 2. You're just repeating row 2 on your piece of fabric, just like this. All right, now, for this vest, I decided to try to put a little ease down at the bottom of the vest from after you pass your arm space, or where you're going to sew for your arm space. I wanted to have a little more ease at the area as you got towards the bottom of the sweater. Sometimes you need a little ease to come across the front of your body, or a little bit in the hip area. Although this one doesn't go way down, way past the hips, but sometimes you just need that little extra that you just don't have if you just simply sew up the side seams. So here's the little extra gusset or area. Can you see that? That I put in simply by just increasing the stitches on a couple of rows. That's it. So let me show you what we'll do. This is for everyone, every size. Whether you're small, medium, large, extra large, or however many repeats you have, it doesn't matter. You're just working row 2. Now, after you've worked row 2 look at these repeats right here on the edge. You see these little repeats right here? They're a little shell right on the edge of your work. All right. And I've worked 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I get to the 9th one, you're going to work some and stop and count. When you see you coming to the 9th one, if it's on the right side, then, we'll use that one. But I believe it's number 10. So I will finish the repeat for the 9th repeat. And then on the 10th repeat, you should be on the front side of the fabric. Because you're going to mark, as we always do, you can mark the back with some type of yarn. So, on the front side of the 10th repeat, from where you start, just working row 2, back and forth, back and okay, this is where we will start to add the little increase here by just simply adding an extra double crochet on the edge of the work. And now let me just push that aside and get a little sample that I was working on. Now we're going to have to pretend, because I don't have this sample up. I didn't work one in real time again. So I'm working along. And like I say, I didn't have, well, I know that's the right side. Okay. So I'm working along, and then I stop every once in a while and I count and see how many of these little repeats I have. And I see that maybe I'm on the 9th repeat, so I'm finishing up number 9, and it's on the wrong side because I've got a marker, either a marker or a piece of yarn or something to let me know I'm on the wrong side of my vest. So I get up to the last double crochet and then a double crochet into the post. Now, then you'll chain 3 to turn. 1, 2, 3. Just a simple chain 3 for every row. Chain 3 to turn. And now we would go back into pattern. And the pattern is you would do the double crochet into the second one right there. Well, I'm simply, you know how we're increasing in crocheting, I'm going to do a double crochet into the very first one. Right there. As soon as I chain 3 and turn, put a double crochet there. Now I have 2. Then I fall back into pattern. Then I double crochet in the next one. Now I've taken the edge of my work, which had 2 double crochets, or a double crochet in the post. I've turned it into 3 stitches. You see that? Alright, and then I get back into pattern. I just go then chain 2. Then I look for that single crochet right there, and I put 6 double crochets there. So 1, oops, let me put a little yarn here. Let's see, can I put my 6 in here? You're just getting back into pattern. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here comes 4, 5, and 6. And then, of course, I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And I skip over to the 5th double crochet in this shell here. And just do a single crochet. Chain 2. 1, 2. Now I'm back in my regular pattern. A double crochet here, and a double crochet here. Now chain 2 and repeat the 6 double crochets here in that one single crochet right there. Alright, so now you would simply work all the way to this end. You will work to this end, and let me make sure that I did pick that up. Okay. I could have moved in, I'm sorry. I could have moved in just a little bit. Okay, you're going to work all the way to this end. And of course, this end there was a double crochet in the post. Well, you'll simply work a double crochet and put 2 double crochets in the post. You have increased it. Now you will have 3 stitches on each end. And then you will, of course, turn the work and work the back side. You just work across row 2 again. And then, of course, and then when you get to, then you'll turn again to the next right side, and we will increase it 1 more time. So 3 will turn into 4. So you will simply, right here, you would add another double crochet, and then continue across. So you will wind up, this 3 will then turn into 4. And that's how you're going to increase. You don't need any more after that. It really doesn't take that many stitches to increase something. And remember, we'll do that on each side, so once we sew it up, 4 really becomes 8 because there's 4 on each side. So you really don't have to do, that much to increase it. And in fact, if you're not a large person or don't have any problems with hips, or maybe you're more of a straight line figure, you probably would only need to just stop at 3. Just increase it to 3. But for anyone like, say large, extra large, you would need to increase it to 4. Just like I've done on the original. And I'll put it back just so that you can see how the E's look again. And you can see it if I hold it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I started up here with the 10th repeat, and I only had 3. 1, 2, 3. And then when I bring those two together to sew, you see what a nice little extra, it's just a little extra as you're wearing your vest to come around the front of your body. Kind of fills in right up under the arm space, and you've got plenty of room. How about that? All right, let's do that. Continue with that, because you have to go however many repeats of row 2 that you feel is a length for your body. Once you reach the 10th repeat, and then you started adding the extra stitches, then you just continue to work row 2 until it's the length you want, or however many. You can either count. I had at least 20 of these repeats. I had at least 20, and when I got to 20, I stopped. Because you're working on the back. This is when we will turn the work and start to work down the front. I know that sounds confusing if you're new to the way I crochet, but everyone else, you know that once I work the back, then I turn the work around. So let me show you how that looks. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, so I've worked my little sample. I've got it a little further along. I don't have much of this yarn, so we're going to pretend now. Okay, here is my chain. This is where I started. This is where you started. And we're just working the first row, and then we worked row 2. We kept working row 2 until we did 10 of these repeats. Everyone was doing the same amount of repeats. Right there. When we got to 10, and if it was on the right side, because we have the wrong side marked, we marked that with the yarn. Okay, then we started to add our extra stitches on our edge. So my edge has gone from 2 double crochets, or 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That was at 10, and then I did. Then I worked across, came back. And the next right side row, I added another double crochet. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And you should have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, unless you are a very slim person and you don't need extra to, you don't have any problems, or a little extra in the front, or a little extra love handles, and you're just pretty straight, you probably don't even need to add the extra stitches. You just stay at 2. I'm large, extra large, so I'm up to 4. I guess if you are double X or even larger, add 1 more. So you could go up to maybe 5. But 4 is what I have, and most of you will probably need at least 4. So when I added that, of course I had to do the same thing. I simply added the extra stitch in the post on this side. So I wound up with 1, 2, 3, 4 also. Now, as you can see by the shape, it's extending out. Let me just see, can I move up there a little bit? You can see it extending out. There we go. You can see where the original edge was, and then it moved out a little bit because I added those extra stitches to increase the edge a little bit. This is where you're going to have a little relief, like I said, under the arm space, in case you have a little more in the front or a little extra on the sides. Okay, so now we have to pretend. Now you continue to just keep working, and it just, you'll just continue on. And I had to repeat this this pattern right here, I had to do the repeat, and I did it for at least 20. I counted 20 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I counted 20. And then I stopped on a right side row and just kind of cut the yarn. I didn't tie it off yet, but I just kind of cut it because in case I needed to go extra or anything. So now that's where we are. We're pretending. So then you know how I do my crochet. Here's the bottom. Now I turn the bottom to the top. I just simply turn the bottom to the top. Okay. I don't know why my where's my camera? Okay. I need a little adjustment, sorry. See, can I get a little adjustment? That's much better. Okay, so now I've turned the bottom to the top. And as usual, now I'm going to reconnect my yarn and start working the right front and the left front. They'll be worked separate with, of course, a space for your neck in the middle. That's why I like the odd number, so I'll know where the center is. So on this sample I had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I had 7. So 1, 2. Well, so let me go ahead and mark this. You're going to need a few markers so that you'll know where your neck, the section for your neck. On this small repeat, I'm going to go 1, 2 on this edge, and let's see, 1, 2 on this one. Now I'm going to come in a little bit more, and I'm going to come in a little bit more. So I'm going to come in about right there. So that's going to give me 1, 2 on this side. 1, 2 on this side. 1, 2. I'm in at 3. Okay. So on my little sample, I'm going to come in 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to come in 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put a mark so I'll know kind of where I want the neck. So 1, 2, 3. A little place where I kind of remind me that this is the neck area coming up. Now let's make sure that was on camera. Does that make sense? This is how we've done it. And this is how I do it every time. Okay? Alright. Now, okay, I'm going to attach my yarn. Let's see, I have a place here to attach my yarn at the top. Like I say, now I've turned the work so you know I'm at the top here, and I've marked my neck. And on this little sample I was able, like I said, to come in 1, 2, a little over 2, and then come in from the other side. You just want the same place. You want your marks in the same place but on opposite sides. So, alright, the main thing is to get the right and the left front so they're symmetrical and equal. So it looks really nice. Now I'm going to come over here and pull my... Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm going to connect now. Alright, now you know that I like to go and once I connect my yarn, then I simply start repeating the pattern. So I just take my yarn and I find the very first place I can connect right there on the edge, and I bring my yarn through and I just hold both strands, the tail and the yarn, and I connect and pull it tight. You can connect however you normally connect. Then I chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now, the main thing is to get right back into pattern. Take your time and look at your work. You've done this pattern long enough by now that you know, okay, that's 1 double crochet, or that represent it. 1 double crochet, now double crochet in the next one. And then I chain 2. 1, 2. Now I look for a place to put, you know, those 6 double crochets so they'll stack right up on top of these. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this large space here because that's the only thing I kind of see this gonna work. So I do 6 double crochets right above the shell there. So that's 1. Okay, now 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. All I'm trying to do is get back into pattern. All right, so then I do chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I move over, and now I need a place to do a single crochet connection, because normally we would go into the 5th double crochet. So I'm going to use, instead of this large hole right there, I'm going to use this little stitch or chain right there, right next to it. So I'm going to single crochet here. Now chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm back to where I have the 2 double crochets, so you can see that. So I can double crochet there, and then another one here. Then chain 2, 1, 2. All right, pull a yarn. All right, I hadn't got to my mark yet. That's why you need to mark it, otherwise you're going to run past it. All right, so now after I chain 2, I'm looking for a place to put those 6 double crochets again. So I see a place, of course, right here, right above this row of the 6 double crochets. So I'm going to put them right here then. So let's go 1, 2, 3. I believe that's 4, yes. 5 and 6. And then I do chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I need a place to put my single crochet. All right, so I don't want to go into this large space. So I'm going to go into this chain or this little stitch right there. And I single crochet. Now I chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm back up to my 2 double crochets. You see that? So that's easy to make out. So double crochet there, double crochet here. All right, now I can see I'm at my mark almost. There's a few chains right there between where I am and where I put my little mark. Okay, well, I want to stop this side of the vest right here. You want to stop it at these 2 double crochets, because we're going to add more double crochets to make a front border. You know, as I go over my shoulders and down the front, I need a new border. You know, unless we're going to pick up something or add something, I try to go ahead and add me a border. So now if you hold this out, you can see there's a chain there. You see there's some stitches there. I'm simply going to do a double crochet into this, every chain I can make out. So there, let's go. There's 1. I made that out. I'm holding it open so I can see it. Okay, I can put a double crochet right here in the next one. I can see that. So far with the 2 I had to start with, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm up to 4. Let's see if I can do one more just to make a good connection. All right, let's see, where can I put it? I'm right at the mark, or right near the... Okay, I can go into this large hole. I could do that. Let's see if there's a chain next to it that might work better sometimes to keep it from being so loose. Let me see what I can do. Okay, I'm going to go into this chain. I could go into the hole right here. I can simply do this. A double crochet there. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do that. That's fine. Then you can chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're ready to turn the work, and guess what? You're on your way again, because now we're working each side, each front. So once you turn the work, you chain 3 and turn the work. Okay, now you just double crochet top of the double crochets you've just made, the new ones. And 5 is really a nice front border. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isn't that nice? Now look to get right back into pattern. After you do the crochet, double crochets, you always chain 2, 1, 2. Now you look for that single crochet stitch to put those 6 double crochets. And there it is right there. So that's 1, 2. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you look for, you go to the 5th double crochet in this shell. You do a single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm back in pattern. Double crochet above this one, double crochet into this one, chain 2, and I look for that single crochet stitch right there, and I put my 6 double crochets. Okay, I put my 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, some yarn, okay, and I look for to put the single crochet in the 5th stitch there, chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm back at the edge, working 1 as I work this front of the vest. So that's 1, and then 1 double crochet into the post. Now chain 1, 2, 3, turn the work. We're back on the right side, and we will continue down, and we're going to continue down how far? We need to go down 10 of these fans, of these little shells. We need to count down 10, just like we did here. And then you will have to, on this side, then we will simply, at number 10, you will add the stitches on this edge and the opposite edge, and then for the 2 right side rows until you have 4, you have increased it 4. You have 4 double crochets total. So now I can just work this side back and forth, row 2. All right, let me work a little bit, then I'll come back and make sure you can connect for this side. Just make sure you're on the right path. All right, how you doing? It's really pretty, and it's really just a really nice crochet. Like I said, but it turned out to be a kind of a tight stitch, so it does eat up a lot of yarn. And that's one reason I'm glad I use baby yarn, because even though it's a tight stitch, it's still very light. All right, continue on. Okay, so I've worked some rows on my right side off camera. As I showed you before, we connected, and then we built a new front edge border, and I put in 5 double crochets there, and we just started to work down the front. And like I said, I don't have hardly any more of this practice yarn, so we're going to pretend now. All right, so now the thing of it is, however many of these shells or repeats you did for your back length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, you need to repeat for the front. This right front we're working, you just continue to work on down, and for me it was like 20. I had 20 of these little shells. All right, so that means I had to do at least 20. And then I would not tie off the work. I would simply cut the yarn and then put a stitch marker to hold the stitch, because there is something I need to show you that I found when I got to the end. I had to change something a little bit. So you just finish that side, tie, put a stitch marker. We'll come back to it. Now I want to show you how. As you can see, we had marked the neck. We had put a marker here and a marker here. So now I want to go to the left side to make sure that you knew how to connect and how to look at your pattern and figure out, where to connect. And you really just want to, let's see, can I pull this over now? All right, there we go. All right, so here we go. I have, make sure that you can see that. All right. So, like I said, here's my mark for my neck. Now, here are the 2 double crochets. We know we need those to be a part of the front edge going over, because that's where we stopped right there and added more double crochets. So we know that's where we're going to start from. And the easiest way for me to show you how to do it is just to go to the place and I'm going to count backwards. I need 5. So here's a double crochet. That's going to be 1. Here's number 2. Now here's a chain right there. Let's see. There's a chain right here. I'm going to stick my needle in. There's 1. Here's 2. There's 3. Here's 4. There's a chain, so I can work in any chain I can find. That's 4, and 1 more is right here, right in this stitch here. So I'm going to put my hook right there, and then I'm going to stop and go over here and look at this side and see if it's pretty much in the same place, and it is. There's the shell, there's my mark, and there's my stitch for those to start those 5 double crochets. So let's go. All right, so I just normally connect. However you connect is however you connect. I put my loop over my hook. I bring it through. I grab both strands. I pull it through nice and tight. And just because I'm a knitter, I drop the tail. Because that's the way I do in knitting. I drop the tail. I have the working yarn. Now I chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. There is the first stitch as I make this border. This new border for my neck. All right, I find the next chain, just like if you were starting from the beginning. Here's the next chain right here. So I put my hook in and I go double crochet. That's 2. Find the next chain. Here's 1 right there. Here's 3. Now the 2 double crochets that's in the pattern are right here. So I stack 1 on top of that one, and then 1 on top of the next one. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're back in business, people. Yay! So now your mind will tell you, okay, I'm back in pattern. That's all you're trying to do. I will chain 2, 1, 2. Now I will look for that single crochet to start to put my 6 double crochets. And of course that's just going to stack right up on top of these. So you know it has to be right here. You know it has to go there. So let's do our 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I need to move my yarn here. It's kind of in the way. Okay, so there are my 6 double crochets. After that, I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I move over to the next place I can put a single crochet, and it'll be right here in that stitch right there. So I single crochet to connect it right there. Now I chain 2. 1, 2. I'm back to my 2 double crochets right here. So I do a double crochet here, move over to the next one, chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm looking for that single crochet again, and it's going to, of course, it's going to be right on top of this row right there. So I go right here into that stitch, and I do 1, 2, that's 3, 4. Let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. There's 6 double crochets. Ooh, I'm all tangled up with my yarn. Wait. Okay. Got tangled up some kind of way in my tripod. Okay, now chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm ready for that single crochet to connect it. So I single crochet here. Now I chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm back to this double crochet right here on the edge, on the end. Let's see, double crochet, and then a double crochet into the post right there. Of course, now you just chain 3, 1, 2, 3, make the turn of the work, and you start all over again working the left side. Now we have a new 5 double crochet border that will match. Let me just turn it back to the right side. Now these 2 borders will go down the front and will match. And then of course you've got to work the left side to however many repeats that you needed, you know, that you did for the back. I'm going to switch to, and don't forget now, let me just remind you of this. I just now thought, okay. As you work down this right and left side, you know you work down to the first 10. You work the first 10 shell, 1, 2, 3, down to the first 10. And on the 10th, when you get ready for the 10th one, remember, you will add a stitch right here. You will put 2 double crochets right in the first stitch there, and that will increase it from 2 to 1, 2, and you will have 3. You will go across and you will do the same when you get to the end of the row. In the post, you will add 2 double crochets, and you will have 3 on this end. You work back, and in the next right side row, you will add 1 more, and that will bring it up to 4. Then you continue just working back and forth. You don't have to add any more after that, unless you are doing, or you feel like, well, Jay, I'm a really XX, you know, a little larger, and I'm going to add 1 more. Just do it on the right side row, add 1 more, and you'd have 5. Easy. Easy peasy. Okay, but I think that's all I can do on the sample that I need to tell you. So let me pull out the original so I can go over a few things. This is how easy and simple this one is. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now you have a back with 2 fronts, a left and right front, and now we want to get to the end. So, my suggestion was not to tie off anything, because you want to just double check everything and pin things together. But there was one thing that I found when I got ready to check all my counting, you know how you're counting and checking the front and you're looking and see if they're the same. I kept counting and I kept counting, and I kept getting 21 on one of my fronts. I said, okay, what is going on? And then I'd count the back, and then I kept recounting, and I couldn't quite figure it out. Then it came to me. I don't know when, but it finally came to me. This shell pattern or stitch is offset. You see how one is low, high, low, high, low, high. It's an offset pattern. And if you, once you finish your back and your front, you've not sewn anything together, everything is just laying here like this. Put your 2 fronts together. Start up at the neck where you came over the neck. One shell is going to be facing towards the back, so you know where the front starts. It starts with the shell, or the right there, that faces towards the front. And take a count right down. Just count them. And like I say, one side is going to come out to be 21. If you're following the pattern, just say, oh, it's going to be one more shell than you would have on this side. If you count this side, you're going to go, wait a minute. So this is how I figured to fix it. And no big deal. You simply, the side that needs the one extra shell, you have to chain 3 at the bottom, turn and work one. You'll have to work that first shell in that first single crochet, connect it with a single crochet in that 5th, in that 5th stitch, and then slip stitch it and then disconnect. Does that make sense? Because they are off shell. So if you look at my 2 fronts, I hope this is clear on the camera. If I had not realized that and just left it, they would not match. Look, you can see that I have a shell down, a low shell, and a low shell here. Then a high, high, low, low, high, high, low, low. Does that even make sense? Could you see it? I hope you can see it. If not, I'll get him to zoom in on this. Okay, so that's a little dilemma that I found as I started to put things together and match things up. There was a low shell over here, but there was not one on this side. See? If I hadn't put this extra shell. So in the front, the 2 front edges, you're going to have 21. The rest of it, well, that's for me, my size. It depends on how many you did down. So for me, the back is 20, which is fine. Everything else is 20, but on these 2 front edges, because the shells are staggered shells, I wound up with 21 right here and right here. Does that make sense? And like I say, as soon as I realized and figured it out, I just realized I needed to do one more. I just need to chain 3, turn the work, and do one more shell right here so that it matches this shell in the front. Voila. So, now here we go. How to finish. Well, on this one, I hope you can see it. I'm going to use this. Okay, on this one, all we had to do, let me zoom back out now, because this is good. Shut your eyes. Okay. So here's my 5 double crochets on each side. I simply started at one edge, and I did the extended single crochet, because that's the one I like. I hardly ever like to, I'm just not a single crochet. It just doesn't pop for me. But the extended single crochet always seems to pop. So I did 1 row all the way around the neck, and then I came back around for a 2nd row. And look what a pretty, nice edge, front edge that gave me. It made a beautiful band right there. Then you'll have to move to the sleeves, to the arm space area. And let's see, can I just open this up so that you can sew up your arm space. Now, you don't have to worry. It has nothing to do with the little gusset we put in there, the extra stitches. That's just room for, just to have some extra room. And you can see it. You can see it has a little funny shape there. Okay. I'll zoom in just a little bit. I want you to see this. Okay. So, of course, you got to start at the bottom, start sewing, just lay the two sides together, do your sewing as you normally would, go up as far as you need to go. It doesn't matter how far, up to whatever arm space you need. And of course, do not tie anything off. Go to the other arm space and do the same. because sometimes one arm or one space usually is larger or smaller than the other, opposite one. So once you do that, then of course you can try your vest on and then see if you need to go up any further. Once you find and get them correct and you're comfortable and you have something on under it, a little shell or something, and it's not too tight, then you can tie it off, and then you don't have to cut the yarn, because then you can simply do the extended single crochet around the arm space too. And I did 2 times around. I think I did. Well, I intend to do. I was trying to get done, people. So I did, you'll do the extended single crochet around the arm space once you know that you have it. Now, like I say, even though my things are in one piece, but there is still just some things you need to take care of. And a reminder again, I always go back to my joining seam right at the top of the work, where I joined the front and the back, where I came over the back to the front. And sometimes you need to go back and look. See those large places where the thread is very thin there. Sometimes I will take it just like you do a top of a hat, a yarn needle and some yarn, and I'll just run some yarn through there and try to tighten up some of those places right in that one seam area at the shoulder. And you'll be able to tell because the shells will be facing in opposite direction. Here's the back and here's the front. So I know where they are that I need to go back and check and tighten up. Now, if you wanted to, I didn't make buttonholes, but since we have crochet kind of makes his own buttonholes. I found these really pretty buttons over at Joann's. You could add buttons if you like, or mine is just plain, of course. I left mine without the button. That doesn't mean I won't add some later. Sometimes I'll come across buttons that I really like, and I'll go back and maybe add them later just because I didn't add them right now. So, but this is the vest. Back out just a little bit so that you can see the nice front. You've got a side panel to give yourself extra room across the front, and that's it, except for making your beautiful scarf, or finding you a beautiful piece of fabric to match. Look at that silky. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. So I can't think of anything else. I think I've covered everything, how to finish, Now, this fabric, like I say, once you're done, you're going to think, man, this is so tight. Because it won't look like this when you finish. It will be really, it's a springy type stitch. So, just a quick reminder, I turn mine, that's why I leave my mark in. I have it on the wrong side. I take it to my ironing board, or I got to get my new steamer that I saw on Margaret's website. I haven't ordered yet because I had a bunch of other things to order, so I wanted to put in one order so I didn't have to pay the shipping. So, but I'm going to get the steamer, so check it out. Margaret gave a good review on a nice handheld steamer, so I'm going to get that. But in the meantime, I laid it out, or you can do it simply on the beach towel, just like I have here. And you'll hold your iron, and you'll steam, and then I hand iron. I hand press, just like this. Steam, hand press, Just don't let the steam iron on your hand because the steam is hot. Steam, hand press. And you can pull out your points. Steam. Don't over steam. You don't want to kill it. You just want to lightly steam, and then hand pressing just releases the fabric. Just like that. It just releases, and it's not tight as a drum. And hand press. And always on the wrong side. It's best just to do a little. See how it looks, and if you need to go back in a few spots or places, then you can do that. And voila! You are ready to go. You're ready to put this on. This is a great Mother's Day gift for you or someone special, along with this beautiful scarf. And one last thing, just for you. I came across this card, and I thought, let me just wish this on my YouTube friends so that they will have and know that someone is wishing them Happy Mother's Day.